Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our Military Bowl game preview between the San Jose State Spartans and the Bowling Green Falcons. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with San Jose State.
Quietly, the San Jose State Spartans have put together an impressive and exciting offense out there on the West Coast. Quarterback David Fales has had a phenomenal season, 31 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's a junior, so look for him next year to be one of the top senior quarterback prospects in the country. But when you look at their receiving core, you look at Noel Grigsby, Jabari Carr. You also look at Chandler Jones. All three guys open up the offense and make you cover every blade of grass, and it allows Ryan Otten, the tight end, to work the middle of the field. And let's not forget they can run the football. So when you look at their skill positions, you have to like their chances versus Bowling Green. But all is for naught if that offensive line can't hold up their end of the bargain, because Bowling Green, quite honestly, has one of the more impressive defensive fronts in the country, and they can really get pressure on the quarterback. Now, you look at the defensive side of the football, you look at a defensive line that is just as talented as Bowling Green's front, but they're going to have to play with some discipline because Bowling Green will try to run the football down their throat. So guys like Travis Johnson, the outstanding defensive end, 12.5 sacks, and defensive tackle right there, Anthony Larsifo, they're going to have to play with some controlled aggressiveness up front in order to not get out of position to where they can gash them with quick-hitting run plays by their outstanding tailback, Anthony Samuel. And it just keeps a lot of the trash out of the face of Vince Buhagier, the outstanding linebacker. So look for this front seven to be as vital to their success as the back end. Now let's move over to Bowling Green in this matchup, and you have to start with their outstanding tailback, Anthony Samuel. I went back and watched the Florida game, and this guy really came to play. Tough runner, inside, has the speed to take the distance. They're going to have to get him more involved in the passing game. And speaking of the passing game, you look at their wide receiver, Chris Gallion. He's going to have to win those individual matchups versus the outstanding secondary of San Jose State. If they can do that, then it's just going to go a long way in making quarterback Matt Shields more comfortable in the pocket and not forcing things down the field. So Gallion in the passing game as well as Samuel are going to be vital and key parts of this Bowling Green offensive attack. We've talked about their defensive line and how impressive it is. I mean, they're very impressive. 37 sacks on the season, not all coming from the defensive front, but a combination of D-line linebackers and corners and secondary players. But that's why I chose to focus on linebacker Paul Swan. This guy has been the leader of that defense all season long, getting everybody lined up properly. That's key. You have to be aligned properly versus San Jose State. You can't get beat by alignment, and you also have to win the individual matchups on the corners, which is why Boo Boo Gates, the outstanding corner and dynamite returner, is very important. And also Jude J. Berryma, another guy, the opposite corner, very important. Winning those individual matchups versus the wide receivers, bringing them down, puts you in better position to play outstanding defense versus the Spartans. I still stand by my comments that Ryan Otten is the best tight end in the country. Fluid athlete, guy that has soft hands and also does the dirty work that a lot of times these tight ends nowadays don't want to do, which means he can inline block. So he's a complete tight end, 6'5", 245 pounds. Look for him to be a solid pro at the next level. And Chris Jones, defensive tackle, this is a guy that has 12.5 sacks on the season. Disruptive force, 6'1", 292 pounds, reminds me a lot of Chris Hovan. Has a lot of quickness and burst to his game and is very strong at the point of attack. Wide receiver Guy Liggins gets my vote for the campus legend for the Spartans. You look at what this guy did from 86 to 87, both years, back-to-back California Bowl appearances, over 160 catches and over 1,200 yards each season. 18 total touchdowns in his Spartan career, was an outstanding slot receiver. And Brian McClure, the quarterback, this guy finished 10th in the Heisman Trophy voting, leading passer in Bowling Green history, played from 82 to 85, over 10,000 career yards passing, 63% of his passes completed, and 64 touchdowns. I like the Spartans in this ball game. This will be a great bowl game, in my opinion, one of the best ones we have on the schedule. When you look at San Jose State, you look at what they do well. They can run, they can throw. Defensively, they get after the quarterback, and they also have solid secondary play. Bowling Green has some of the same elements. Their defense is very good, very strong. The problem is they're one-dimensional offensively. Yes, they can run the football with the best of them with Anthony Samuel, but if they get stopped running, I don't think they're built enough to be an effective passing team more so than not. So I will have to go with San Jose State to walk away 2012 Military Bowl champions.